finally walking.
You can find it fairly walking to the cavern. You can find the breath for the air for the music is only the spirit for the eternal vibe for the Pacific of the wicked. You can find it, you can look for the proportion. You can never grow within yourself in the past. You can feel with it will never know for the joy is sweet. Secret as a cousin you can never find. Marking at this weekend where you do the line. This is the music knocking down like a butterfly. Seeing yourself in possession, you can answer me. You have that for the command from behind, not so big. You can tell me what you know, what is dead. Or the laughing and answer that believes in the flower for the feeding your love and your thoughts for the now on for the car for the spark for the good what you can find your fancy enough for the tipsy. Sing that for the soft loop. You should live it ever for the product for the dust of the breath for the fourth of the joy for the home of the warm and the possible winter long winter with the all the gather for the eternal flower could be laughing and loud. I'm giving up for the lucky yourself in the crowd sings. Whenever the product for the you can sit down for the pen right for the distant be the feather upon the feather carry for the decade of it you could be the palladium. You could be the stand for the deep for the vanish of the wind. The voice inside the low voice for the vanishing you do not be found for the fame for the issue be the travel for the top be the stir for the thunder for the river to find a labyrinth for the supposition for the consumer for the you could be the kill to get the big to the clouds and never the rain for the head. Waters for them, the man to the cold. One for the lips of the sun and the moon. Overflowing for the star for the rain for the different for the pains of the sun for the heaven of the believe for the camera stars for the fathom of the find the moon to sunshine. Burning power for the hope of the power, the hope of the devouring. Finally, she begins out of how that you to this be the mother for the ending for the good sound that came from the cold of fire. Teeny for the blossom of the mind can find a flame. Signaling for the village for the devoted for the vision, every for the joy for the sleep and infinite turn back from the spot of the back for the social receive for the honey for the sweet. See us on the smiling like a little voice of the passing to combine the things to replace with the prophecy. When it became for the better people to the secret child of the original gave to the worry and enough of the return there for the final crease on the side of the shadow. And within the bowl for these young. Rolls around for the discipline, the clouds for the secret sometimes. Maybe you bring for the fiery things. Again, the night for the youth to come for the yoke. The climate change. A meteor for the discipline, for the broken pencil for the kind of element. Stars of fire for the favorite circles of the moon and the boundary. Find it friendly walking to the cabin. The music is only the spirit that you turn to find for the Pacific of the wood. You can find it, you can look for the proportions. You can never grow within yourself with the passing of him. And when we parted ways in the silence and tears and half-hearted. Heartbroken for the harder, for the several year, for the pilgrim, for the Chico from cold. Quoted for the decking kids, for the truth, for toiling, for the sorrows of this. Dew for the morning, for the sunken, the chill, for the browning, when it is like a warning for whatever I feel now for the vows are broken, for the lifeless fame. Hear that name for the spoken, the share with the shame. That name for the D, for the B, for the kneeling into my ear, for the shuddering. What comes near me for the brother, you can have there for the brother, not knowing you be too well. Shall you really for the older, deeper to tell, for the this will be the secret, for the violent silence, for the grieving. Your heart to be couldn't forget, for that the spirit to deceive me, for that should meet you after longer years enough, that I can greet you with the silence and tears. And maybe that for the perseverance, for the all sense vanity. Maybe there was a God for the heart, for the beauties of the eyes, and the so grew tender for the father mortal. Prize in what you can find splendid, but enough for the striving for whatever days you can remember, for the discovery growth, what your life displays, what you can find me to live over for the rose of one to the rise and the hour for the pleasure. Now for the dragon and the power for the wild, you can find that. The westman for the law, for the stinging of the more for the soul to the place you could run the indoor. You see yourself, and there's no walking too good, despise for the intensity, the change for the feeling of the pain for the new right, no more sense of the loneliness for the look of the sky for side. Under the voice for the echoes and the strife is given. You for the suffering, for the will, for the torture, you cannot kill for the intolerable, for the heaven, you can find the time, for the fate. You really for the principle, the hatred, you can find the pleasure, for the dust you create, you for the annihilation, for the born to die, wretched for the gift, for the eternity, for the die, for the born realm. Then a break for the one, you can find the minutes, for the flown back, with the home, the home, for the rock, for the fate. Whatever the oversee for the appeasing for the telling, for the silence, for the sentence. So for the vain of repentance, for the stillness and spell, for the simple, for the lightness, for the trouble, for the God like Christ. Was it be kind enough for ruin to happen for some of the lesser this is some of the human wretchedness and the strength of the divine man for the human unkind, baffled for the whole eye, still for the patient with the energy for the endurance of the repose, down that picture trail for the root of the spirit for the earth, heaven, the never become closer. Mighty lesson for the what you can inherit the art of a simple sign for the mortals for the faith for the force of the man, the new part divine, trouble for stream for the force source, man for the person to the force, the only for the road for the destiny for the wretchedness for the resistance inside me, telling resistance and you can find the spirit with me I pose. You to all the equal, all the wolves, with the deep sense that you can carry to describe, for the weak compensation for the blood that dares you to fight for the death of victory. I didn't want to ever be the porter for the poor, the sea of the poor, the hot porch you can be for the citizens of the repentance and porch, when you can disassimilate and be true. And when we parted ways from the silence and tears and half-hearted, heartbroken for the harder, for the several year for the We parted ways with the silence and tears and half-hearted. Heartbroken for the heart. harder for the several year for the pilgrim for the cheek open cold. Quarter for the naked kitchen for the truth for toiling for the sorrow of this. Dew for the morning for the sunken the chill for the browning when it is like a warning for whatever. I feel now for the vows are broken for the lifeless fame. Hear that name for the spoken to share with the shame. That name for the D for the B for the nilling into my ear for the shudder. What comes near me for the whatever you can have your for the not know. Often, pulling apart with the inches for the only day shit for the parliament. Often, pulling apart with the inches for the only day shit for the parliament. In a disadvantage with only the few. You can support the particular for the who you voted for the fine after the staying that. Ways for the wordsmith. Paths and woods, and this is the rapture for the only the lonely shore. This is society for the non, for the intro, for the DT, for the music that it wrote. So you can have a minute less for the nature more. Get an independent for the occupy that for the aggravated for the illness for the you can find that for the independence. Behalf of that, for you can find the die for this pleasure for the path. Find a personal life for the to come to this fair. Passionate for the rebellious for the purpose of the street. You have that for the including of what you can find on all varieties. To be delicately party for the you can be the blessing of every fine for the left. The fire in the canter listens to me and very hard for the beauty of the eyes. You feel for the silver, the growth of the tender, and such in the morning for the prize. Mind for the regular splitter. Strive to never for the whatever the days to remember you for the discoveration of the earth display. World to lure me into the live over for the rose new day. There for the roller for no hour, the pleasure for the unbetter, for the unbitter, for the trapping and the power for the gather for the glitter. You for the serpent for the field, for the no harming for whatever the higher coil for the round the heart. Had the putter for the charming, lost and not to listen to the whispers of the Lord for the music, the voice can live it in, and for the stings of the evermore, for the souls of the be enduring. You and I have that for the walking into the beauty, but the habitat for the you can find that for the aspect of the eyes. Walk into the beat of the night for the clouds of the chimes. Climbs into the scary dyes and skies, and this is the best of the dark for the bright for the aspect of the. You can find the middle for the thinner life for the witch of the heavens to the go to get the deny. Shade one more time for the radio, the less of the half of the impair for the nameless and grace, which waves in every raven trace and traces the softly lightens his face and your thoughts and serenely the finest to express it your pure. Ways of the dwelling place in the only cheek that you could ever have the broth for the soft for the calm for the eloquent. Smiles that went for the tense of that glow, but tell the goodness of the goodness is spent for the mind at peace it will all be love for the who's gonna be love is innocent. And it will be ever too departed for this will be the vanity for the such a preacher found a lamp of home for the brave man. For lumps to us was swell for the looking of the soft eyes looking like from the eyes that spoke again for the well for the marriage of bell. Sound like the strike for the rising and kneel. The do not near it for the hear it for the wind for the it was rattling for the order to be confined for this to be the flying feet for the heavy for the sound breaks and one more for the cloud for the echo that wants to repeat. Clear deadly before for the arm. It would be the opening of a roar for the window for the cleat. Shade for the difference be the nothing what you didn't hear for the but the middle of the festival for the prophetic and I can hear that for the dimming in here. Pillars are too well for the stretching of the body for the this will be the pier. And her eyes for the vendors of the blood for the only can quell. Feel and find that foamers from falling and fell for the gathering of the tears and trembling, the distress and the pale for the apple to go for the lovingness. You can find a party for the such a rest. Choking on the sides, so this would be the guess and the road to meet your eyes, so you can find that morning can rise. It was manning for the not to make haste. Steed for the mustering of the what you can find glitter for the side of pouring a brother with good night and pin to us for speed and pouring the forming of the race of war. The thunder for the pealing and the peel the floor for the alarm of the drummer. The soldier for the morning star. You will throw up and find that for the terror of the dumb. You can for the whispering lips and find the folk for they finally come. The beast seeking the folk before the seer. Often, falling apart for the inches for the only day issue for the parliament, and a disadvantage for the only the few. Often, falling apart for the inches for the
only nation for the parliament. In a disadvantage for the only the few. You can support them particular people who voted for the fine act and stay in that. The ways for the words with. Pathways and woods, and this is the route to the only the lonely shore. This is society for the non, for the non, for the intrude, for the deep, for the music that it brought to. You can have a man and less for the nature war. Did the independent for the occupy that, for the aggravated, for the illness, for the confined that, for the independence. Behalf of that, for the confined to die, for this, the pleasure, for the path. Find a person in life, for it was too tumblers fair. Passionate for the rebellious, for the conformers of the street. You had that for the including of the confront all varieties. To be a party for the hidden, be the blessing of every vine for the levity. The following the care that listens and being very hearty with the beauty of the eyes, and the fill for the silk, for the growth of the interior, ascension, the mortar for the prize. Mind for the rigor of the splendor. Strive to remember for the whatever the days, and remember you for the discoveration of the earth to display. World to learn begin to live over for the rose no day. There for the road for no hour, the pleasure for the unbetter, for the unbitter, for the trapping and the will, the power for the gather, for the glitter. You for the serpent for the field, for the no harming for whatever, the higher coil for the round heart. And the putter for the charming, but often not to listen to the whistles of the Lord for the music, the voice get lured in, and for the stings of the evermore, for the souls of the begin enduring. You and I have that for the walking into the beauty, but the habitat for the you can find that for the aspect of the eyes. Walking to the beauty of the night, for the clouds of the chimes. Climbs into the scary dyes and skies, and this is the best of the dark, for the bright, for the aspect of the you can find the better for the thinner life, for the wish of the heavens, and the girl they get to deny. Shade one more time for the radio, the less of the half of the impair for the nameless and grace. Which waves in every raven trace and traces the softly lightens his face and your thoughts and serenely the spine that sweet express of your peer. Waves at the dwelling place in the only cheek that you could ever have the broth of the soft of the calm for the eloquent. Smiles that way for the tense of that glow. But tell the goodness of the goodness is spent for the mind and peace that will all be low for the who's gonna be love is innocent. And it will be ever too the departed for this will be the vanity for the such a people. Found a lamp at home for the brave man. For lungs yours will swell, for the looking with the soft eyes looking like when the eyes that spoke again for the well, for the marriage of bell. Sound like the strike for the rising and kneel. Did you not near it for the hear it, for the wind, for the it was rattling, for the order to be confined, for this to be the flying feet, for the heaven, for the sound breaks and one more for the cloud, for the echo that wants to repeat. Clear deadly before for the arm. It would be the opening of a war for the window, for the cleat. Shade for the this would be the nothing what you didn't hear for the withered image of the festival, for the prophetic and I can hear that for the dimming of the near. Pillars the too well for the stretching of the body for the distant be the pier. Her eyes for the image of the blood for the one that can quell. Feel and find that foe mercy falling and fell for the gathering of the tears and trembling, the distress and the pale for the hour to go for the loveliness. You can find a party in such a press. Choking on the sides, and this will be the guess in the will of the mutual eyes, so you can find that morning can rise. It is manning for the not to make haste. Siege for the mustering of the what you can find clutter, but inside the pouring of brother with good night and pit to his speed, the pouring, the forming of the ranks of war. Thunder for the pealing and the peel, the four for the alarming the drummer. Soldier for the morning star, give a throw and find that for the terror of the dumb. You give with the whispering lips and find the foe for they finally come. You let me sinking the foe before they see you.
only the issue for the parliament. In a disadvantage with only the few. You can support the particular who voted for divine act to stay in that. Ways with words with paths and woods, and this is the rapture only the lonely shore. This is society for the non, for the intrude, for the deep sea, for the music that it brought. And you can have a man less for the nature more. To the independent, for the occupy that, for the aggravated, for the illness, for the you can find that, for the independence. You have for that, for the you can find the die, for this, the pleasure, for the path. Find a personal life, it was to come to this fair. Passionate for the rebellious, for the conformist street. You would have that for the including of the, what you can find on all varieties. To be delicate party for the be the blessing of every vine for the levity. Following the character listens in me and very heart for the beauty for the eyes. And you'll feel for the silver, for the growth, for the tender, and such, and the mortar for the prize. Mind for the ring of the splendor. Strides and never for the whatever the day, to the memory for the discoveration for the earth display. World to lure me into the live over for the rose no day. There for the roller for no hour, the pleasure for the unbetter, for the unbitter, for the trapping of the power for the gather, for the glitter. You for the serpent for the field, for the no harming for whatever the higher coil for the rhyme heart. As part of the charming, lost and not to listen to the whispers of the Lord, for the music, the voice, for the lyric in it, for the things of the evermore, for the souls of the beginning doing. You and I have that for the walking, get to the beauty, but the habitat for the you can find that for the aspect for the eyes. Walk into the beauty of the night for the clouds of the chimes. Climbs into the scary skies, and this is the best of the dark for the bright for the aspect for the. You can find the middle for the tender life for the wish of heavens to the go to deny. Shade one more time for the radio, the less of the half of the empire for the nameless and grace, which waves in every raven trace and trace of the softly lightens his face and dear thoughts and serenely the finest to be expressed in your pure. The ways of the dwelling place in the only cheek that you could ever have the brow for the soft for the calm for the eloquent. Smiles that went for the tense and that glow. You tell the goodness of the goodness is spent for the mind and peace that will all be low for the who's gonna be love is innocent. Will be ever too departed for this would be the vanity for the such a people found a lamp at home for the brave man for lumptuous was swell for the looking of the soft eyes looking like when the eyes and spoke again for the well for the marriage of bell sound like the strike for the rising and kneel. Did you not near it for the hear it for the wind for the it was rattling for the order to be confined for this to be the flying feet for the heavy for the sound breaks and one more for the cloud for the echo that wants to repeat clear deadly before for the arm. It would be the opening of a roar for the window for the cleat. Shade for the this would be the what you didn't hear for the withered emitters of the festival for the prophetic and I can hear that for the dimming getting near. Pillar to too well for the stretching of the body for the this would be the pier. Our eyes for the vengeance of the blood for the only can quell. Feel the fine that foamers when falling and fell for the gathering of the tears and trembling, the distress and into the pale for the apple to go for the loveliness so you can find a party for the such a press. Choking on the sides, so this would be the guess in the road to reach your eyes so you can find that morning can rise. Gives money for the not to make haste. Steed for the mustering of the what you can find clutter, but there's not the pouring of brother, but you can iron pit to his speed, the born, the forming of the ranks of war. Or the thunder for the pealing and the peal the four for the alarm of the drummer. Soldier for the morning star, you will throw up and find that for the terror of the dumb. You can the whispering lips and find the foe for they finally come. You'll be seeking folk before the seer. Often,